Culture is the only international language that everybody understands. Through culture, we manage to reach out to the world, and we can see the world now moving with Gaza, and how Ramallah played a nice and very diplomatic and smooth role in voicing out the Palestinian pain and the Palestinian pride.
Hello, Mayor. It's a pleasure to have you for our series 10 Minutes with the Mayor. I'm here sitting with Issa Kassis, the Mayor of Ramallah, Palestine. And we're going to be talking about many things about urban management, starting with one which has become, I would say, the defining characteristic of Palestinian cities, which is resilience. A buzzword in urban affairs. It's seen as the only way to ensure that cities have a future. And I'd like to hear why and how cities are the best place, first of all, to build resilience, and secondly, how is this panning out in cities which are facing not one, but at least 4 or 5 different kinds of stress?
Thank you, Jordi. Well, yes, resilience is a buzzword internationally, but in Palestine, you see the practical application, the stress testing of the word resilience, because you are living under extreme odd circumstances. That resilience comes out from theory into practice, and you see how important for you to keep going and to continue aspiring for a better future for your people. At the end of the day, you have a mandate as a local government. You are democratically elected to meet all the objectives or the promises that you originally promised your people for, and therefore you're very much obligated to do that whichever way possible and within the available means. And I believe this is how resilience starts. That you dream big, but you accomplish and you apply what can be accomplished through phases without losing focus of your overall objective. And therefore you see resilience in its best shapes in urban planning, in environment, in culture. We always say we don't want to leave anyone behind, and you have a moral obligation to serve your people. And now with the development after 2012 and the stages 12 and 17, and how SDGs become an integral part of a local government dream and goal, that yes, you work for a resilient city that can accommodate and live any hardship that you face along the way. And hardships are countless in Palestine, as the world know, and therefore you have to keep going and manage within the means. The word resilience became part of the city identity and profile, and you see it in so many different ways and shapes and colors in Ramallah.
I love that you mentioned some of the topics that we always hear about when we talk about resilience. So you mentioned climate and waste and water, but you also mentioned culture. And I'd like to stop here for a minute, because that's not the first word that comes when we talk about resilience. Why, in your vision, why is culture such an important part of the resilience, of the energy of a city, and of the future of a city?
Because simply culture is the only international language that everybody understands, comprehends, and ready to react, empathize, sympathize. We felt and we experienced that we are becoming closer to the world, Ramallah specifically, and other Palestinian cities through this clear and loud address culture. The voice of culture is very low, but yet the effect is very high. Culture slips into every part of your duties. We see culture in every bit of the 17 SDGs, and through culture we managed to reach out to the world through, of course, integrating culture with technologies. We say smart cities, not necessarily smart in technology, but smart in utilizing the available resources at its best. So not only that I expose my culture to the world and let the world know what's happening in Palestine and how the Palestinian people are living and are experiencing their lifestyle, their life, their business, socially, politically, culturally. It brought us closer to the world, and we can see the world now moving with Gaza, and how Ramallah played a nice and very diplomatic and smooth role in voicing out the Palestinian pain and the Palestinian pride. It's not only pain. I mean, we have a lot to be proud of. Culture has been very instrumental in voicing out what Palestinians are under and what Palestinians can do. So it's not only the dark side, but also the bright side.
You come from a region that has been at the center of geopolitical tensions, some conflicts, some of them bloody armed conflicts, and yet very often we've heard you internationally talk about peace and the culture of peace. And some people may wonder, what is the role of mayors in this? Mayors are just takers of conflict or peace, but you always show that they're more than that they're agents of peace. In what sense?
Well, the role of local governments has shifted during the past decade or so. And local governments, as far as we see it in Ramallah, for example, is not the classic role of a municipality. We see Ramallah as Palestine, as a state. I act as if it's Palestine. There is a very important role that this local government, which is democratically elected by, for example, and this is extremely important because you have a promise to meet. And the promise is not only serving people with the vanilla products that services that a municipality provides, but for aspiring for a better future, aspiring for peace, for a good future for your children. So in order for you to get the buy-in from those people who elected you, you have to be closer to them. For people to feel that they are better off living for Palestine and not dying for Palestine. And therefore, if you want to build a state, you'd better be present and not only sitting in an air-conditioned office and say what the do's and the don'ts. But you've been there, you were part of the recipe, you were part of cooking this cake, and you are ready now to taste it and enjoy it. And therefore, we always promote for peace, for a peaceful life in Palestine. Palestine has exercised many wars during the centuries, and I mean it's due for the Palestinian people to enjoy their self-determination and their independence in their independent state with Jerusalem as its capital. It's within your daily recipe of how you speak to people, and that's why in your previous question discussing culture, it became a culture. That peace is your destiny. Because eventually you have a mandate to do as a Palestinian, as a proud Palestinian, to have your own state on your soil, independent soil, Palestine, and therefore if you can start from the local government, that would be beautiful, because other local governments will plant these seeds, and eventually you'll see such a beautiful garden of peace, of people who want to build a better future for the state as a whole.
You live in a region of old cities with young populations, the Middle East and North Africa. And as a mayor of a mostly young city, what do you say to your peers, your other mayors, about youth? How are mayors and how are city makers responding to the hopes and expectations of these young generations?
I believe COVID was kind of an alarm for you to capitalize on this stake of the society and make them part of your plan, get their buy-in, and because they are the future leaders. It's amazing how you see people interact with you and race to be part of your activities, of your projects, volunteering for the local government, for the municipalities, and want to be part of their, for example, a youth council. I believe this is a treasure that we acknowledged in Ramallah, and we presented a very nice, civilized, strong example and model that we are now showing the world. Some of my trips abroad, the city council, the youth city council head joins me. She's a 16-year-old young lady and girl, and she's outspoken and speaks about the city and how she wants to see the city. And you see that other cities in the West Bank are today experiencing youth city councils and other activities with the youth to be part of the municipalities or the local government's daily operations.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mayor. Thanks so much for being here with us and for sharing your thoughts.